Hey nerds! So, I'm going to continue my series on Aleksandr Dugin's book, The Great Awakening versus the Great Reset. Of course, he's this well, actually, I'd say he's not a pseudo-intellectual, but an intellectual crackpot, famous Russian philosopher who he sounds like, as I've said before, he kind of uses anti-capitalist and post-structuralist rhetoric to make him sound like he's sympathetic to lefty positions, although in reality it's actually just his Trojan horse that he uses to smuggle in his fascism, because he talks about Russia being inherently a collectivist culture, but he doesn't clarify that he doesn't clarify where the parts that he talks about liberalism, he also includes progressives, and he talks about progressives, so you can assume from what he's talking about in terms of collectivism that he's like actually pro-communism or something like that, but he's actually pro-fascism, although he often admits it, and or often doesn't admit it rather, and he adapts his rhetoric to his relative audience in terms of what he wants them to believe. So that, like, just keep that in mind in terms of what he's talking about. But he makes it pretty clear his conspiratorial view here. And the Great Reset, of course, as I've explained before, and a lot of people know, it's this grand conspiracy theory that the world leaders and rich billionaires who are somehow also Marxists at the World Economic Forum, like Klaus Schwab, Prince Charles, Bill Gates, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, etc. It's even though Trump won the election now, uh, are going to they're going to engineer a global Chinese style social credit system in which they own everything and we own nothing, and they're going to engineer this through forcing everyone to get vaccinated and become trans, which is on the face of it a fucking ridiculous conspiracy theory. But anyway, so just keep that in mind for this paragraph. And he says some wild shit here, which he often does. Okay, so the great the Great Awakening. No, I won't talk in a Russian accent. The Great Awakening means that we have figured out the essence of that fatal, both murderous and suicidal strategy of progress, as the globalist liberal elites understand it. So you see how much he fucking hits you over the head with his ridiculous message. Let's see, fatal, murderous, and suicidal strategy of progress that the globalist liberal elites have. So the globalist liberal elites fatal, murderous, and suicidal strategy of progress. Yeah, bro. Okay. And if we understand it, then we are capable of explaining it to others. The awakened, aka the conspiratorial far right people who agree with Dugin, uh, if we understand it, then we are capable of explaining it to others. The awakened, we are the awakened, can and must awaken everyone else. And if we succeed in this, not only will the Great Reset fail, but a just judgment will be passed. Do you see how fucking like polemical he's sounding here? Like he's trying to be a prophet? And if we succeed in this, not only would the Great Reset fail, but the just judgment will be passed upon those who have made it their goal to destroy humanity, first in spirit and now in body. Isn't it? A judgment will be passed upon those who have made it their goal to destroy humanity, first in spirit and now in body. Can you believe that? So, judgment will be a judgment. Let's see, the Great Awakening will pass judgment upon the globalist liberal elites murderous, fatal, and suicidal strategy of progress, which will destroy humanity. So, obviously, this is his wacko conspiracy theory. But anyway, so yes, in a nutshell, this is wacko philosopher Aleksandr Dugin, who has been, I forgot to mention, he's been called Putin's brain before and is said to be a philosophical inspiration of Putin, but Putin doesn't understand philosophy like that. That's exaggerated. And anyway, he's seen as this like brilliant philosopher by a lot of far right wingers who like to pretend that they're intellectual, because he's like a pseudo intellectual in terms of political stuff, but he actually understands some philosophical topics. but when he talks about politics, he sounds like an idiot. Fucking retard. But anyway, so this is Alexander, in a nutshell, this is Alexander Dugin's wacko opinion that the evil globalist, the evil globalist, I'm going to try to say this in a Russian accent, the evil globalist liberal elites murderous, fatal, and suicidal strategy of progress will be stopped by the Great Awakening so we can stop the Great Reset in order to stop the liberal elites from destroying humanity in spirit and in body.